It's time for today's travel and cruise industry news. With the latest from travel and cruises around the world, here's your host, Chillie Falls.
Hey, good morning. Welcome to Travel and Cruise Industry News. A little breaking news this morning. Since I'm having some difficulty with techniques, if any of you are live out there, pop into the comments and let me know if you can hear me, as I cannot tell from what we're doing. So anyway, if you're out there, pop into comments. And I realize this is not a scheduled broadcast, and I came on a little bit early because of the breaking news situation. For those of you that might be new to the channel or don't know, we regularly do travel and cruise industry news on Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday mornings at 6 a.m. This was a breaking story that just broke within the last hour. And I wanted to get that up as soon as possible. Also, if you're new, you might not know that I have been on a couple cruises for the last 2 weeks and came home with a bit of a cold. So if my voice sounds a little scratchy or rough, it's very possible. And also, it might be possible that I could cough or sneeze or anything in the middle of a live broadcast, which wouldn't be very appropriate, but it's a possibility as well. So hopefully, because I've had technical issues, you guys can hear this. We did a live broadcast yesterday or day before yesterday, and the first one had no audio. The second one had audio. So hopefully you got audio. So, and as always, folks, if you're new to this channel, we regularly post videos on all facets of the travel and cruise industry. We got a lot of things coming up that you might be interested in. I've got several Chillie chats coming up, which are my interview shows. We're going to talk to our friend Jason up in Pittsburgh about the Carnival Panorama. We tried to do a ship-to-ship live stream, and it didn't work because of the live stream signals that on the ships I was on. So we're going to reschedule that here in the next couple days. I've got to send them a message today. And we've got our friend Emma from England with her new project on actually creating an academy for first-time cruisers to answer all those questions that first-time cruisers have. So we're going to have Emma on, and we'll talk about her academy also. So those are coming up short-term on Chillie Chats. I regularly have our news show on Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday at 6 a.m. And we regularly post videos in all facets of the travel and cruise industry, including the latest in cruise ships, ports of call, cruises themselves. So if you're interested in any of those, hit that little subscribe button that's down there. Where's the finger? Down here, someplace down there at the bottom. Anyway, hit that little subscribe button. The bell notification lets you know anytime I go live or I have posted a new video. So now on to today's story. And remember, folks, that YouTube and all of its wisdom, that there's a very popular, 10 or 11 letters? I never count. I think it's 11 letter C word that I'm not allowed to say, or they demonetize my channel. So I refer to it as flu. The Asian flu or the Chinese flu or whatever. And that seems to go through. But anyway, so you'll know what I'm referring to, folks, if you've watched any news lately at all. The 14 passengers that I referred to in the title this morning, and let me check one thing to see if I am, in fact, live on Facebook. I do not know. Before we get to this, yes, I appear to be live. I can't tell if there's audio or not. Has anybody comment? Hey, Chillie, all good. David, thank you, David and Aaron. Hi, y'all. And I am getting audio through, so that's working out. All right, now back to the breaking news story. We had 14 passengers that were on U.S. charter flights evacuated from the Diamond Princess have tested positive for that Asian flu stuff. Now, these folks were part of a approximately 300 people that were evacuated day before yesterday off the ship. The day before that, they started in their evacuation procedures to test everyone of the 300 coming back to the United States. Now, we knew ahead of time that they were going to come back to two bases that had been set up to handle the evacuated folks and keep them in quarantine probably for 2 more weeks. Well, now we've got 14 people that have tested positive for that flu stuff. Those 14, and this is, by the way, comes directly from joint statement from the United States Department of State and Health and Human Services. The passengers are among the more than 300 people removed from the ship, which has been docked off the Japanese port city of Yokohama forever. It seems like 3 weeks now or close to it. They left Sunday night, their time. One of the planes landed last night, our time. The other plane came in during the night. U.S. officials were notified that there were the positive results. And as a result, these passengers were separated and kept in contained areas, both on the flight over and at the bases where they are. After consultation with the HHS officials, including experts from the HHS Office of the Assistant Secretary of Preparedness and Response, the State Department made the decision to allow the 14 individuals who were in isolation, separated from other passengers, and continued to be asymptomatic, to remain on the aircraft to complete the evacuation process. Now, also keep in mind, folks, this isn't 100% of the Americans who were on the ship. Some of them decided that they'd rather stay on the ship than go through a long flight with folks that may or may not have the flu. So there are still Americans over there, but just not as many. One of the chartered flights carrying evacuated Americans arrived at Travis Air Force Base in Fairfield, California, around 11:30 Sunday night. That's their time, which would be like, what's that, 3:30 in the morning, our time, Eastern Standard Time. A second arrived at Joint Base San Antonio Lackland in San Antonio, Texas, about 3:56 a.m. local time on Monday. That would be about 5:56 our time here on the East Coast. The passengers who tested positive were isolated from the other passengers during the flights, the statement said, and all passengers are being closely monitored throughout the flight. Any who become symptomatic will be moved to the specialized containment area where they will be treated. After the flights land, any passengers that develop symptoms on the flights and those who had already tested positive will be transported to an appropriate location for continued isolation and care. The remaining passengers, that's the folks that have not tested positive, the remaining passengers will remain under quarantine for 14 days. So it's going to be 2 more weeks before these poor people get to go home. So, man, this has just been a rugged situation on them. Passengers arriving at Travis will be housed in the same facility as the evacuees who were revived from that Chinese city. I don't know if I can use that W word, that little Chinese town or not. But in case I can, I'll just call it that Chinese city. Earlier this month, a spokesman for the base told CNN new evacuees will be kept in a separate area of the West Wing Inn on the base, the spokesman said. So, to summarize, folks, 300 people were evacuated from the Diamond Princess, were American citizens. They were flown back to two locations, one in California, one in Texas. 14 have tested positive for that flu-like stuff and are being treated and isolated from anyone else. So that's the breaking news from the travel and cruise industry segment of things. Wanted to get this up as quickly as possible to bring this information to you. This is going to be an ongoing story, folks, as long as this flu-like stuff that 11-letter word that I'm not allowed to say. It's like the 4-letter words that you can't say on radio and TV. I don't understand that, but that's YouTube's decisions. Again, hats off to the administration. All of you guys know that I will fuss at the administration when I think they've done something that's hurt the travel industry. They have done a marvelous job in handling this situation and helping getting these folks home. They did a marvelous job working with the Wester Dam, and that's going to turn out to probably bite them in the butt a little bit, as one of the people that got off the Wester Dam tested positive. But the administration has been proactive on this, and my hat's off to the work that they've done to get these folks home. So that's it for now. This is Chillie with Chillie's Cruises, and I'll see you guys tomorrow morning at 6 a.m.
Thank you for watching today's travel and cruise industry news. Join us every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday morning at 6 a.m. Eastern for another episode. Travel and Cruise Industry News is a production of Chillie's Cruises.